Hey, my friend, we have a new moon in Cancer happening just a few hours from as I'm recording this. And what's really interesting about this new moon, what I want to talk about is actually the lunar cycle that it kicks off, because we have a full moon coming up in a couple of weeks. That's going to be really interesting, especially in regards to what you're creating, what you're putting out into the world. But I'm a little ahead of myself. Starting with today, our new moon is in Cancer. Cancer is the sign of the inner spaces, your emotional world, your emotional body. It's a sign and an invitation for deep self-care. Cancer is that home space representing both your physical home where you live, but also just that inner safe space. This is the realm of your emotional life, your deepest parts of you. And when we think of Cancer, we're thinking about being in a healthy, protective, safe, contained way with the most inner, deep processes, emotions, places that you live. So, new moon in Cancer is inviting us to set intentions. And let's just remember that every new moon, we have the moon and the sun representing conscious and unconscious coming into alignment. That's why we traditionally set intentions at the new moon. And then when the full moon happens, this is where they come into opposition, the conscious and unconscious facing off, as it were. And there's some kind of both a release of what is going to be let go, as well as a harvest of the intentions that you've set. Like, let's bring them into real life now. Let's make them happen. So I want you to think about this. I want to invite you to think about this as we move into this new moon in Cancer, where the invitation is to allow the deepest needs of your innermost self to be felt, to be heard, to be loved, to be expressed, to be presenced. And in a moment, we'll talk about where that's taking us. But first, I want to just invite you here with me. If it feels good, you can place a hand on the chest. You can allow yourself to take a couple of breaths, whatever feels supportive, and allow yourself to be in a space where whatever deepest inner processing needs to happen gets to be felt. It's possible that with this new moon, you may have, over the past couple of days, you may have had some pretty deep emotional and energetic releases or deep emotional places coming up. And I want to invite you to pay attention to whatever emotional material is arising right now. It's important. It may even be literally connected in some way to what you're going to be moving forward with in this lunar cycle. So I'll invite you to just set some space around this, allowing that whatever emotion, energy wants to be felt, wants to be released right now, gets to be safely, presently felt and loved. Because this is what this new moon is inviting. It's inviting the deepest self-care. So whatever that looks like for you, whatever you truly need, not what your mind thinks you need, but what your body needs, what your emotions need. And that's where the wisdom that is present in your emotional body is really, really important right now. So even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it feels unclear to the mind, what wisdom is arising? And to know that, I'm just going to ask you to allow space for whatever you've been feeling, whatever has been there, even if you don't know what all it means. There's still wisdom from your body. There's wisdom from your nervous system. Giving space to what is present in what is happening is how we allow our nervous systems to very brilliantly and organically move and process this energy. So I want to invite you to take some space with this, to perhaps create a ritual for yourself with this new moon that involves allowing, feeling, presencing, writing if you choose, but giving space to the deepest emotional needs that want to be felt. That's where the wisdom is, even if the wisdom is in a different language than you're used to understanding or working with. That's where it's at right now. This is telling you what you truly need, what is truly wanting to come through. Last thing about this new moon before I talk about the full moon and how this all ties in is that this new moon is also in a square with the north and south nodes. North and south node represent, south node is the past and what we are embodying the best of, but also releasing what we don't need in order to move forward on our path. That's the north node. So in a square with these, there is a challenging way that we're being asked to meet, like whatever is whatever might be in the way of you moving forward on your path, which is going to in some way include releasing what needs to be released. Also interesting is that Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, is in a conjunction with the South Node right now. Lilith represents the unconscious stuff, all of the hidden material that we might not feel most of the time because it's not convenient to feel all that stuff. All of that with Lilith right now is rising up to be released with the South Node. South Node represents release of the past. So all of that is being met with this new moon to be released so that you can move forward. So holding all that, and the way to put this into practice again may be as simple as giving space to whatever has been there, especially like the last 2 days, last 48 hours, what emotional stuff, what memories perhaps, what awareness has been coming to the surface. That's what wants space right now. And the more you can allow and give the space to all that in this new moon, simply by setting the intention, choosing to do so, allowing yourself to feel, to give space, to release all this energy, that is what is going to allow a very powerful lunar cycle for you that's going to culminate with a Capricorn full moon in a couple of weeks. The Capricorn full moon is really interesting for a couple of reasons. It's at the mastery degree of Capricorn, the 29th degree. So there's an element of harvesting all of the Capricornian type lessons, which is Capricorn is about creating in the world. It's about doing the work and building all the things and making it all happen through that very diligent, active, getting stuff done work. So there's a mastery of that with the coming full moon. And it's also happening right on top of Pluto, which is about the deepest, most profound change that allows whatever is meant to come through you to come through. So it's a really fascinating lunar cycle for building and creating what you're up to in the world. But the key to this, is that the energy and the intentions that you set now, and of course you can always do this. It's not about having to get it at this moment, but this moment is an invitation to really allow this to come forward. The deepest self-care, the deepest allowing of whatever emotional energy wants to move through you, that is what is going to move the needle forward for you on whatever wants to be created through you. Because when all this energy is flowing and moving, when the nervous system is in harmony and regulation, allowing everything from the past, from the present to move through without getting stuck, that's when your work and what you build can actually become quite easy. It doesn't have to be about the old paradigm of hard work and hustle anymore, because it's about an allowance of the energy moving through you. So my invitation for you with this new moon, give some space to whatever emotional material has been wanting to be processed, to be felt. And it can be as simple as giving it presence, giving it space, attention. Allow yourself to move through any emotions that want to be felt. Notice and listen to the wisdom of your body. Notice what kind of care your nervous system needs to feel safe, to feel present, maybe to feel settled, but also maybe to feel expressed, because nervous system care is not always about soothing and calming, right? It's also about allowing the full range of your energy to be fully in what it wants to be. So this is my invitation for you, sending you lots of love on this beautiful new moon, and I will see you soon. Take good care.